All right. Welcome to Rick's horror movie review show. Rick's Rated R horror movie review show, hosted by me, Rick, where we review horror movies. I love horror movies. I think they are the most interesting genre of filmmaking there is. Much better than action movies, definitely much better than drama. And, I think at this point, much better than most comedies. And I think it's a genre of movie making that really can capture an imagination. Everybody is, to some degree, I think, fears something in life. And I think a good filmmaker and a good story can capture and play upon some of those fears and have a terrific cinematic experience. My favorite kind of horror movie, in fact, is movies that take place either in a particular place where it's haunted, a haunted place, or movies that talk about the Catholic Church or demonic possession. A demon haunts and wants somebody's soul, and a priest is also possessed, and we're in a church or a haunted home that was built upon a cemetery. That's the kind of horror movie that I really, really, really enjoy. I think those are fun. I think for some reason, I think the Catholic Church really, really lends itself to being in horror movies. Don't judge me. But this is an unedited, unresearched, unhinged review of Saw X, and I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I am not a fan of these movies. I only did this for you. Okay? I'm here doing this for you. This isn't for me. I saw the first Saw movie, and I did enjoy that movie. I thought it was revolutionary. I thought it was brand new storytelling. I'd never seen anything like it at the time, and I enjoyed it because it was different. It was something new. It wasn't some regurgitated nonsense like all the action movies that we get nowadays. Big explosion. Oh, the robots from outer space are back. But now they're primates. Yeah. It's the same fucking baloney bullshit story over and over and over. Like, come on, man, we're a fucking audience. We're not dumb here. Anyway, back on track and back to the point. As I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this shit. This is a spoiler full review. And here's what I'm going to do. I am going to talk about the things that I really enjoyed about this movie. I am going to talk about the things I didn't enjoy about this movie. And then off the top of my head, no fucking notes, I'm just going to tell you what I remember of this movie as I saw it live and in person. Okay, so here's the things I enjoyed about this Saw movie. I enjoyed the fact that, a bunch of Mexican actors got paid. And, okay, well, let's go on to all of the things I didn't enjoy about this movie. I'm going to start with the aesthetic of the fucking film. Like, seriously, I get the horror movie, but fucking Christ, does every time Mexico get represented in film, does it need to be this fucking yellow magenta? Have the cinematographers or the fucking people who made this movie never been to Mexico? Or it's like, what are they trying to fucking portray here? It's like the cinematography meeting or writers meeting. So, all right, guys, this movie is going to take place in Mexico. So, any thoughts or any ideas of, what the aesthetic of the film should be? Yeah, you, Johnson, over there. Well, I think it should be yellow maybe and magenta. I think because, it's Mexico and that's the way Mexico looks. It's different than the United States. Yep, I like it. All right, yellow and magenta. I don't know how the fuck they picked that or why it seems like that's just the way Mexico's portrayed, but fuck it. It's fucking terrible. I don't know why. It's dark. It's magenta, yellow looking fucking colors and shit, and it just looks terrific. It looks horrific. But anyway, I didn't appreciate the cinematography or the aesthetic, I should say. Cinematography-wise, whatever. I'm no expert, but there wasn't anything that was, blatantly obvious that I thought, other than the coloring and the palettes that they used, that was like terrific. Horrific. Good lad, I'm confused now. I confused myself. I don't like the way it looked very much, but I will say that some of the sets I thought were decent. I guess I should add that to the things I liked, or maybe there should be a third category, things I'm about. The sets I'm about. Anyway, more things I didn't like. I didn't like the fucking story, which I will get into in as much detail as my brain could possibly can contain. I didn't like the fucking story. And by the way, the story, if you haven't seen this movie, takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. I don't fucking remember Saw 2. If I saw it, it's long forgotten by now. I don't know when that movie came out, but I don't remember shit about it. If I did, I think I saw some Saw movie after that, but again, not a fan. And my brain has long forgotten those horrific memories of those movies. But anyway, movie takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. This movie, by the way, and I asked audience members after the movie, I asked what they thought of this movie. You know what? I'm going to hold off on it. Anyway, Saw 1 takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2, and we meet John Kramer, the protagonist or antagonist or anti-hero of this film. And as everybody in the fucking world knows, John Kramer has cancer, and he's had cancer for the last 20 years or some shit like that, right? I don't know. In the universe, I mean, well, not in universe, but in real time, the first movie I think came out in 2004. Well, this movie takes place in between that first one and the second one. And, well, anyway, we follow the story of John Kramer as, he gets his cancer diagnosis and the steps he tries to take to try to cheat death. It fucking sucks. Nobody wants to have that kind of diagnosis. And the very first thing that he does is, I think, starts to put a will together and starts to, tie his loose ends and finish his unfinished business. And, in the midst of this, and by the way, we're right into the story now, which I also didn't like, but I'm going to give you my honest perspective and my honest view on it as I saw it and as I heard it. He's doing his will and testament and shit, and going to his cancer group thing, and doing the things that most folks would probably do in a situation like that. It's really sad. But by the way, again, this takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. So what does that mean? That means that this fucker's already a sadistic serial torturer. He's a sadistic kidnapper. So I don't know how anybody could feel any sort of empathy for somebody who has cancer, but also happens to be this fucking sadistic torturer. Which, by the way, the movie does, I think, emphasize I'm not a murderer. I don't kill people. Yeah, he doesn't kill people. Okay, right. So you just put them in fucking situations where they gotta maim themselves, or cut their fucking leg off, gouge an eye out, or kill somebody else, or gut some shit, eat vampire bats, ass, shit, or die. Yes, but you don't kill them. Okay, good. So he's, at the very least, he doesn't kill anybody. He just puts them in situations where they either do as his fucking trap says, or they die. Anyway, he's already a serial torturer by this point, which, again, I think doesn't make any sense to me. If I had written this movie, I would have made this movie before all this shit happened, because at the very least, you could really feel for the guy. The guy has like cancer, and that's a really sad thing. And he's clearly a brilliant dude. He's really good. He's a civil engineer and an architect, potentially more because of the traps that he builds. But if we'd written this before Saw 1, and we understood his plight, and maybe we could sympathize with the fact that he wasn't ready to die and that sort of shit. But nope, this movie takes place between 1 and 2, which means this fucker's already not killed people, but put them in places where, they fucking kill themselves or they die. Anyway, I think that was dumb as fuck. Back to the story. So in his cancer group, he meets somebody that, from his cancer group, sometime later, he finds somebody as he's writing his last will and testament that no longer is in the cancer group because he's been cured magically by this Dr. Peterson, who, by the way, this character now gives this John Kramer the information for this doctor that cured him. I've been cured. They did the thing, they gave me the pills, and they did a surgery on me, and now I'm good. All right. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, Kramer asked, hey, how the fuck are you still alive? I thought you had like stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And it's like, yeah, I did. But guess what? Dr. Peterson, she's fucking awesome. She gave me some magic space cocktail and some magic fucking, out of this world surgery. And now I'm good to go. I got this fucking battle wound in my gut. That's like this giant scar from the surgery of pancreatic cancer. I don't know where the pancreas is. I guess it's in the stomach somewhere. Well, of course it's in the stomach somewhere, but I mean, you know what I mean. Left side, right side, top side, down side, left bone is connected to the right bone. Jesus, I'm an engineer, not a fucking, like God, I'm not a doctor. Anyway, gets the information for this, life-saving doctor. Kramer researches her on his circa 1999 compact Presaria with some kind of fucking Lycos navigator before Google. Actually, I think Google should have already been around, but maybe they didn't want to license it. I don't know why they fucking do that in movies. I really hate that. Just fucking put Google in there. All right? Just pay the extra fucking money and just put Google. People want to see that. We want to see some fucking bootleg web browser. All right? Nobody wants to see that shit. Use Google, use Windows, and this sort of looked like Windows XP. They should have fucking probably used Windows 2000 at this point, but, I guess Kramer's an old dude who doesn't want to upgrade his fucking operating system because he doesn't want to spend the $300 fucking dollars, all right? I get it. Could have bootlegged it, but that's a different story for another day. Anyway, gets in contact with Peterson. Peterson tells him to come down to some fucking place where she has a place for him in 6 months. Of course, Kramer doesn't have 6 months. And Peterson's like, "Whoa, you don't have 6 months, huh?" "No, I don't," says Kramer. "Well, we got this other shit going down in Mexico. Maybe you come down. We'll get you a spot, and we'll get you all fixed up in a jiffy." And of course, Kramer's like, "Yeah, that sounds fucking terrific. I'll go down to Mexico, whatever, And on we go down to Mexico. And as I already mentioned here, the fucking Mexico's magenta motherfucking colors, ugly as fuck. So Kramer jumps into a fucking taxi, and then for some reason gets fucking kidnapped from the taxi. For what? I don't know who fucking wrote this shit. But anyway, they write this kidnapping scene. And by the way, the kidnapper's taken to where he needs to go. And it's just fucking dumb. Why didn't I just have the taxi take him to the facility? Who wrote this shit? Seriously. Anyway, the kidnappers take him to the facility and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Kramer, we're really sorry about the whole fucking kidnapping thing. But, it's just kind of our thing. We kidnap people down here." So he takes them, and the kidnapper's taken to the facility, which is some old fucking colonial building down in Mexico. And then, Kramer does his thing, and he meets Dr. Peterson and some of the other characters that would prove to be, pivotal part of this story, as shitty as the story is. And, he gets a tour of the facility where he's going to get his fucking brain surgery and his magic space cocktail. And he also meets some other person who's also getting like the fucking space surgery and the miracle space cocktail too. And he's really happy because he's got too much. I think he had throat cancer. Well, now, Mr. Kramer, well, you reckon say I had throat cancer from all the tobacco I done chew in my lifetime. And he doesn't sound like that, but that's what I think about when I think about anybody who chews tobacco. Anyway, and I don't even know if he chewed tobacco, but he had cancer somewhere, and then he has like this shit in his throat and bandage on his throat, so I'm assuming it was throat cancer. But anyway, the point is that there's another dude getting the same fucking space miracle pills and the space age surgery with the magic robot lasers from the 27th century. And Kramer meets him, and it's like, "Oh wow, that's amazing! You're doing the same shit that I am. That's so cool. We're buddies. It's just a couple white dudes from America. That's so cool." And anyway, he exits that, and a couple of days later, Kramer's in the same situation. He's getting his space age surgery, the magic space cocktails from outer space, and boom, a couple of minutes later, he's got his head bandaged, and it's a brand new world for old John Kramer. Got that brain surgery thing gone with his space age laser surgery and his magic cocktails from space, and now he's good to go. He's feeling good. He's in remission. Then he goes to, buy a bottle of tequila for all the, because he's down in Mexico, and of course, all the Mexicans, that's all they drink. So he goes down to buy a bottle of tequila. I shouldn't say that. They offered him a tequila initially at the story, so I think he's just trying to repay the favor. All right, let's not be biased here. So he's buying, fuck it. The Mexicans lied to tequila because they already showed it in the movie. And he goes to get this amazing tequila to drop it off at the facility. But guess what? John Kramer opens the door. "Hello, Dr. Peterson." "Dr. Peterson? It's me, John Kramer." Well, there's nobody fucking there. Why? Because he's been conned. The fucking facility was a con. So he's looking around the facility supposedly where he got his fucking brain surgery, and of course, because the writers think we're fucking idiots, so it's putting plot points of the story right in front of us. There's this book that says, space surgery for dummies. There's fucking shit from the 21st century, brain surgery for the future engineer, or some shit like that. I don't know what the fucking book said. And let's tell the audience, oh, look at this. They were just pretending. They don't actually know what the fuck they're doing. And so that's the first clue. And then the second clue is some stock footage of, those 1970s tutorial videos where like, so you're going to work at McDonald's. Here's some very important information that you need to do in order to be a fantastic burger flipper. That sort of thing, but for brain surgery. Okay, so I'm sure brain surgeons see that all the time. How to brain surgery. How to brain surgeon. Hello, sir. Would you like to be a brain surgeon? You'll need to see this video. Anyway, he sees these clues and holy motherfucking fuck. Now, this amazingly brilliant dude realizes that he's been conned. And now he's out for revenge. And if you like the Saw movies, this is the part of the story, I think, where you're really going to start to enjoy it. Because this is where we start to see all that fucking nasty horror, torturing bullshit that John Kramer is so famous for. And he starts off with, first and foremost, the taxi driver. I don't know why the taxi driver was in on it, but fuck it. We're going to kill the Mexicans. Might as well throw in the taxi driver in there. So he rounds up the troop, grabs the taxi driver. He's the first one to go. He's got some fucking trap. I won't spoil the traps for you, but, he's been trapped. They do his Saw thing. He's the sadistic bastard just looking on. Of course, never murdering anybody, just making sure that either they maim themselves or they die. And then he starts rounding up all the other people that were in on the con, the anesthesiologist, the girl who gave him a tequila initially, and some other lady. I don't remember what she did. But all these Mexican characters, because we're in Mexico. And he rounds them up in his, John Kramer's torture house of doom. And now he's telling them that he's going to be their final judge and executioner, because Lord gave me brain cancer, which means I get to determine who lives and who dies. No, I guess he's out for a little revenge, but seriously, that's kind of fucked. Anyway, rounds up the Mexicans that were in on the con, but of course they weren't the masterminds, because no, again, right there. All right, well, who's gonna be spearheading this operation down in Mexico? Johnson? Well, it can't be the Mexicans, right? We got to have a white character do that. So could it be Dr. Peterson? Maybe she's the brains of the operation, the white lady? That's absolutely phenomenal, Johnson. All right, sounds good. We'll put it in the story. So Dr. Peterson, obviously, mastermind in the entire con, and so she's not down in Mexico. No. She's in La Jolla, baby, or fucking San Diego somewhere. I don't know, enjoying the fucking beach, near the troops. And, long story short, he starts kidnapping all the characters in on the con. Starts with the Mexicans first, and of course by this point it's revealed that Pig Lady, or Amanda as the fans like to call it, she's in the story too, and I guess he's his apprentice. I don't remember her much, but she's part of the big Saw franchise, or the big reveal that she's in. But I think she was already revealed in the fucking trailers that I saw, so I knew that Pig Lady was in. Oh, and by the way, another thing I don't like, which by the way, this is all part of the larger thing I don't like, the fucking story. Pig Lady's in on it, and, she takes off her mask, and she just absolutely, keep the fucking mask on. Jesus, seriously. Like, costume design. Who gave this woman this fucking haircut? Jesus fucking Christ. Just let the woman have a decent haircut. That shit was... I've had bowl haircuts in my life. I remember them, and I have pictures to prove it. But Jesus fucking Christ, that bowl haircut was just terrible. It's just terrible. It's my Charles Barkley. That's terrible. That's a terrible haircut. So it was a terrible haircut on this woman. Anyway, Pig Lady Amanda's in on this kidnapping thing, and she's helping Kramer round up all the Mexicans and eventually round up Amanda. Was she British? I thought she was British. I don't know. Anyway, brings her down to John Kramer's torture doom of room, hosted by John Kramer. And now you got all the people who are in on the con, and keep going, torture. Of course, writers decided that all the Mexicans got to die first before they get to the white lady, and that's what happens. So he kills the anesthesiologist, kills the girl who gets in the tequila bottle while he's at the facility. He kills all the Mexicans first, and then he gets to the white lady because she's the brains of the operation. Actually, that's not true. He maims and tortures, or he puts them all in situations where they either maim and torture themselves, or allow themselves to die, before he gets to Dr. Peterson. And by this point, it's also now revealed that the character that we saw earlier, who, by the way, was shown breaking into the facility because he wants his money back because he's also being conned. He was being held sort of hostage by Kramer and Amanda, but then it's also now revealed that he's in on the con too. He's Amanda's boyfriend or some shit like that. And now they're working together, and now they have the upper hand on Mr. Kramer and Amanda. And, you know, if some shit happens, whatever, and, you know, I fucking really lost track here, and somehow they're about to kill John, and for some reason this little Mexican boy who was playing soccer at the beginning of the film, or not the beginning of the film, but at the point in the film where John Kramer gets to the facility, he helps this little kid fix his bike because this little Mexican boy was hammering away at his bike because it was a crooked tire, and that's the best he could do. But thankfully the benevolent white dude came in and helped him fix his broken tire. And it's, by the way, another fucking point I don't like about this fucking story, the fact that he couldn't even learn a couple of words in Spanish. Like, the dude, the fucking brilliant narcissistic serial torturer, serial kidnapper, plotter, but he's the worst fucking broken Spanish in the history of fucking Spanish. Can't even communicate with the little boy correctly. Anyway, I think he's telling him to pull a lever, and the little boy is like, how do you say pull? How do you say pull lever? And the little boy says, oh, sí, jala. And then Kramer's like, oh, sí, jala. No pull, jala. No push, jala. And I'm not saying jala, I'm saying jala with a J, jala. And in this fucking broken ass Spanish, he's teaching the little boy how to fix his tire for future, twisted tire issues. Anyway, that little boy who he helped earlier is now brought in on this fucking con. And by the way, at this one, more of the fucking story that I just don't fucking get. Why do you need to write in a fucking story where this little boy gets tortured? What does this add to your fucking story? I just don't see it. I'm sorry. But anyway, they bring in this little boy, and of course, you know he's going to get tortured because he's not a little white kid. So they bring the little boy, and he also gets fucking tortured, which is, by the way, disgusting. No little kid should be fucking tortured. But my goodness, they bring him in, and, you know, I knew he was going to get fucking tortured. I knew it, because, you know, if he was a lighter-skinned Mexican boy, man, he might have shot, but no, it was brown. And so, you know, fuck it, he's going to get it. So he got the torturing. Yeah, boy, he got the torturing, and, you know, they put him in some torture device where he's getting, I don't know, blood and guts spilled in his face, drowning, pretty much waterboarding. And the same word that he learned, that he taught John Kramer, holla, is now being used. It's all, what a majestic plot point there. So they're in this fucking waterboarding thing where either he gets waterboarded or John Kramer gets waterboarded. And Kramer, in his fucking broken ass Spanish, is telling the little boy, no holla, no holla, no holla. And the little boy's like, what the fuck? But of course, the little boy, because he's such a cool dude, you know, he's like, you know, this fucking dude helped me fix my tire. I'm going to holla anyway. So he pulls the lever, and now he gets tortured and shit, you know. But anyway, this goes back and forth for a little while. Somehow, some way, Kramer gets the upper hand, and thankfully, the fucking kid doesn't die. And of course, we don't actually see the little boy getting tortured. Like, his face is obscured by all the liquid that's falling in, and I'm sure it's a fucking stunt double, but you get the fucking picture. Who needs a boy being fucking tortured? Jesus, come on. This is too much. Anyway, you know, long-winded rant there, but moving the story forward, Kramer somehow and Amanda fucking escape, and they get the upper hand on Peterson and her boyfriend, and more, long story short, more torturing devices and more death, or allowing people to kill themselves or maim themselves. Kramer and Amanda win. Obviously, we fucking knew this because there's so many more movies after this, so it wasn't like we didn't know as an audience that they're going to survive. Are they really going to survive? I don't know. They survived. Great. Movie ends, and then there's the mid-credit scene where that guy at the beginning of the film who told him about the surgery, and he was cured from his stage 4 pancreatic cancer with his space surgery laser pills from space, is now also being held captive. And, you know, he's got this fucking spider-looking trap in his back and his gut, and Kramer's like, hey, bro, where's like your surgery, bro? That surgery that you showed me at the beginning of the movie, it's like totally gone. Where is it, bro? Did you lie to me? And of course, that dude's like, well, what the fuck, bro? Is this little fucking prank, you know? And so, nah, bro, you fucked up. So now he's in some fucking torture device, and then there's a cameo from one of the other guys from other Saw movies. I think he's some mastermind from like fucking Saw 16 or Saw 22. Saw movie fans, you'll know who he is. He sort of looks familiar to me, and the camera movements and the way it was framed made it seem as he was a very important character. And I kind of got the sense that I know who he is, even though I don't remember seeing the other movies. He's one of those movies. Somebody in the audience was like, "He's the detective." So, he's some detective. So, again, I said spoiler for him. Anyway, that's the story. And now I'd like to give this movie a rating. And as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this podcast, if you're still here, congratulations. You made it to the end 25 minutes later. I said I don't like these kind of movies. What'd you expect? I give it an honest shot. I paid as much attention as I possibly could. Of course, I was jotting down some notes and some things that I wanted to talk about because I'm a fucking professional here. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a shitty fucking story. Like, if you wanted me to feel bad for this dude, put the fucking story at the beginning of the Saw franchise, before he's a fucking sadistic serial torturer, before he's coming up all these fucking psycho ideas to kill people with and decides who gets to live and who gets to die. Put it before that. He gets a cancer diagnosis and, he's fucking depressed. He's just hitting the booze real hard and, he doesn't know what to do with his life. Eventually comes to terms with it or finds this facility and he gets fucking screwed over and, instead of just killing people or going to get the money back that he lost for this fucking con that he did, he goes a little fucking crazy. All right, I'll drink that Kool-Aid, but this whole fucking thing where, you're trying to feel bad for a dude who's already killed people in between Saw 1 and 2, like, I don't know who wrote this shit, but if you're a Saw movie fan, you'll like the torture, and as I mentioned earlier, I asked audience members what they thought, and two people gave this movie, one person gave this movie a 9 out of 10, and I quote, this is a teenager. He's like, "Well, this is the best Saw movie I've ever seen." And I asked him, "Have you seen Saw?" And he said yes. So clearly the guy knows his Saw movies, and he said he really enjoyed the story. He said most Saw movies don't make any sense, and I don't think they do. This one didn't make any sense to me either, but I guess the little boy enjoyed it. And, if you like these kind of movies, congratulations to you. You fucking keep paying the money, and they'll keep making them for you. I asked another person what they thought about this movie, and she said that she also enjoyed this movie. She gave this movie an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to give this movie a rating. I said at the beginning of this review that my favorite kind of movies are movies that involve the Catholic Church, demonic possessions, demons, God, angels. Those are the kind of horror movies that I think you can really, really, really create cinematic experiences with. This fucking movie, I'm going to give this movie, only because I've seen worse movies, and I'm probably going to talk about one of those movies. I've seen worse movies than this, but I'm going to give this fucking movie a 3 out of 10. And that's my fucking honest review of Saw X, and I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks for listening if you're still here. Good night.